Please be advised, the following material is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. This report contains the exact federal courtroom testimony from the Sean Diddy Combs trial, as documented by Inner City Press. The courtroom was silent, yet heavy with anticipation. No one expected Jay-Z, one of the most influential figures in the music industry, to appear at Diddy's trial. His arrival wasn't just a surprise, it was a seismic shift. Dressed in a tailored charcoal suit, his steps were steady, his demeanor composed, but the energy in the room changed the moment he entered. Diddy, who had until that point maintained a front of confidence, visibly tensed. Something about seeing Jay-Z there, someone of equal stature, someone who knew everything, seemed to shake him. As Jay-Z took the stand, the air grew thick with silence. Jurors leaned forward, reporters gripped their pens, even the judge paused, eyebrows raised. Jay-Z's voice broke the silence. Not loud, not emotional, but deliberate and calm. He started by acknowledging the codes of silence that have long governed the music industry. But then he said there comes a time when silence becomes complicity. He was no longer willing to be complicit. He spoke about his relationship with Diddy, how their careers intersected for more than 2 decades, how they attended the same events, made deals at the same tables. Their paths weren't always close, but always parallel. Jay-Z had observed things that at first seemed like industry behavior, but over time began to appear much darker. It began in the early 2000s. Jay-Z explained how he noticed shifts in Diddy's behavior at private gatherings and industry parties, especially when certain substances were involved. What caught his attention most was how Diddy treated the women around him, artists, assistants, collaborators. At first, Jay-Z chalked it up to the chaos of success, but patterns started emerging. Fear in people's eyes, bruises passed off as accidents, sudden resignations from his team without any explanations. One of the most unsettling memories came from an after-party around the 2012 BET Awards. A member of Jay-Z's team told him Cassie Ventura had been forcibly pulled into his side room by Diddy. When she returned, her face was composed, but her energy betrayed distress. That moment, Jay-Z said, was when he truly began to understand the gravity of what was happening. He tried addressing it with Diddy directly, once during a conversation in 2009 and again at the Roc Nation brunch in 2015. Each time, Diddy dismissed the concerns. He insisted he knew how to handle his business. He told Jay-Z to stay in his lane. That response, Jay-Z noted, said more than anything else. As the testimony continued, Jay-Z described a system around Diddy, a structure built to protect him, people who arranged silence, who cleaned up after incidents, who ensured things never reached the public. It wasn't just one man. It was an entire infrastructure designed to keep the truth hidden. But the tipping point came when surveillance footage was released, footage showing behavior that matched everything Jay-Z had suspected for years. Coupled with Cassie Ventura's testimony, he knew he could no longer rationalize staying quiet. His voice didn't rise, his tone didn't change, but when he described the moment he confronted Diddy after the video surfaced, the room held its breath. Jay-Z told Diddy the industry's code of silence would no longer protect him, that he was done covering for him, that the truth needed to come out. That was the moment Diddy broke. Head in hands, silent, surrounded by his legal team whispering urgently. Jurors scribbled notes. The weight of Jay-Z's words crushed whatever confidence Diddy had left. When asked what he thought of Diddy's conduct based on everything he had seen and heard over the years, Jay-Z didn't hesitate. This wasn't standard industry politics, he explained. This was systematic abuse of power, especially towards vulnerable women. This wasn't business. It was something much more dangerous. Cross-examination came quickly. Diddy's attorneys tried to frame Jay-Z as a competitor with something to gain, but Jay-Z remained calm. Yes, they had been competitors and collaborators. Yes, they had built empires in the same space. But that proximity was exactly why his perspective mattered. He'd been close enough to see everything, yet independent enough to judge it clearly. They asked why he never went to the authorities sooner. Jay-Z admitted that he, like many in the industry, had relied too long on internal handling and silent boundaries. But that time had passed. His presence in court, he said, was his way of correcting that mistake. Each response only strengthened his credibility. The jury no longer saw a superstar. They saw a man with integrity, someone breaking the code not for revenge or recognition, but because it was the right thing to do. As Jay-Z stepped down from the stand, he didn't look back. No grand gestures, just quiet purpose. And as he exited, the aftershocks began. The music world reacted instantly. Social media buzzed with praise. Major labels scrambled to issue statements. Internal audits began. The ripple effect of Jay-Z's testimony reached far beyond the courtroom. This wasn't just a moment in a trial. It was a turning point for the music industry. A moment when silence gave way to truth, when loyalty bowed to justice. And it all started with 7 simple words. "I'm done covering for you, Sean."